cream. Shh, don't tell anybody, don't tell anybody. We almost went and looked for ice cream, it was that hot. But the thing about running is that when you're running and your body and your, you know, everything is telling you to stop, that perseverance needs to kick in. And Absolutely. It's like, no, keep going to the end, keep going, keep going. And so if you can build that habit in the physicalness of running, anything else you take on in life will be able to be completed. Because you've already learned how to discipline your body when it's telling you, no, I'm tired, no, I'm this. It's like, no. And it's the same thing, you know, with the presidency. That's why we know Sowore is going to be an amazing president, because he's able to say, no, I'm going to keep going in the face of adversity, in the face of all these people saying all these things, we're going to keep going. So it was really, really, really good.
So what were some of the things that people were saying to him when they were coming up to him? Did you feel like there was a paradigm shift with Nigerians? Did you think Nigerians are ready for this transformation we keep talking
100%.
about? Do you think this is where the country is headed at? Or do you think... because we've had situations in the past where we've talked about, oh, see and buy, or people are still waiting to sell their people. What kind of feeling did you get out there yesterday?
Everybody was just so happy. Everyone was really, really happy. And the thing is,
to see him, or
yes,
happy to be running, or
I think people were happy, and it's funny, I say happy to be running, but most people were happy to be running for the first couple of minutes, then they're like, it's actually, this is tough, this is hard, this is difficult. Yeah. But then as we were running, and then when we got to the end, I mean, I'm sorry, I couldn't keep up with Sowore. He did it in an amazing time of about an hour, which was fantastic. I couldn't keep up with that. Yeah. But when people would see him, they were just coming up to him, they were just so happy, and they thought, wow, like, this is a presidential candidate who's running with us, he's running like us. He doesn't think himself too high, he doesn't think himself too mighty or anything. He was like, actually, he's one of us, and this is the thing, that's the way it is.
Fantastic. Share. We're gonna have Sowore on the couch with us in just a few minutes, as well as a couple of other people who have come in from Diaspora who just had to be here. History is going to be made on February 16th, and they all want to be here to witness it. There's so many people who do not want to be told. So where other parties in the past have been, you know, people have criticized them and saying, oh, you're sitting in America or in the UK and you're saying Buhari is the man. Come here and suffer what we're suffering. Well, people have come here to make this change. There are people in town from the UK, Couple Coffee lives in the UK. I previously stayed in the UK. We have people in town from America. We have people in town from everywhere. Some people from Ibadan who swear it's international, but you know, we'll bring them on the couch as well. We will also be doing a little bit of fundraising because we're getting towards the end now. Every penny counts. This is what we need to do to get us to the finish line. So we need bulk SMSs. We need our jingles out there. We need to let the rest of the people who don't know, we know you guys have been with us right from the beginning, but you know, there are people who need more information, and we're going to try and get that information out to them. Before we go any further, I only have one sermon, one chant, one sentence I need to say to you, one little phrase I need to say to you before February 14th, I believe, which is Valentine's Day, in case you forget. Get your PVCs. Please don't wait for the queues to be so long. Don't wait until it's closed. Don't wait until INEC officials start their serere and whatever it is that they're doing. Make sure February 8th is the last day. Wow. That is in 4 days time. 5 days time. Please guys, go to the INEC offices. Don't leave there. Get your PVCs. None of this will matter if you cannot vote. Your temporary voter's card won't do it. Your father's birth certificate won't do it. Your bank card, your BVN will not do it. Only your permanent voter's card will enable you to be a part of the change that we're about to bring about on February 16th. Yeah. So find your local booth and make sure you pick up your PVC. There's something I would like to talk about. On December 8th, I believe it was, 6 of our gentlemen were out pasting posters, and they were arrested. They were unlawfully arrested because they were accused that they were actually defacing public property and ripping down the posters of other candidates. They were not doing this. Nigerian bureaucracy, a whole load of shenanigans, double dipping and tomfoolery. They actually slept in the cell, in the police cell for 1 night, and they slept in Kirikiri for 2 nights, was it? In Kirikiri for 2 nights. You would I mean, there are people stealing. Gandola, good evening. How are you? How was your night? Have you eaten? Bele? There are people who are stealing money, who are stealing the nation's resources, have never seen the inside of a police station, not talk much less. And now they've asked them to come back to court. They will be back in court tomorrow. We will be there to support them. Please go to Sowore's personal Facebook page. Go to any of our Facebook pages, Sowore 2019, on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter. You will see their picture there with the logo. Please, as an act of solidarity, please make sure you put up their picture as your profile pic and let everyone know that we will not stand for this injustice. Hopefully tomorrow we'll see the end of it, but it was just another one in a long line of injustices, of oppression, and they have tried everything to stop us in our tracks because they've said they're inconsequential. Sowore can't win in his local government. Somehow, Sowore can't win in his local government. We've created a party. It's the largest socio-economic movement in Africa, but we can't win. Somehow, you guys have made it possible for us to raise millions in Naira, hundreds of thousands in dollars, and you still keep giving. So tomorrow we're going to go to the courthouse. We're going to show them that, you know, this is not the party that you play with. We're not at all inconsequential. You are not inconsequential. These boys are not inconsequential. We're going to do everything we can to make sure they never see the inside of a cell again. So please do that act of solidarity. Look for that picture. Make it your profile picture and let us squash this tomorrow. This should come to an end tomorrow. And that's that about that. What else do we want to talk about? Edo. But before we do that, like I said, we have a room full of people who have come in from abroad, and yes, he's actually international because he's coming from Ghana. Sowore is here with us.
Yeah.
You're international. Yeah. So are we starting with who are we starting? The real international people. The people that are coming from 10 feet of snow. They ran from, they say they came to vote. I think they ran from snow. The snow in America. That would be you. So I don't know why you're looking behind you. Please join us in welcoming the Director General of the campaign, Dr. Malcolm Sydenews.
Am I joining you on the couch?
Yes, you are joining us on the couch. You're having center stage on the couch.
AAC.
Take it back.
AAC.
Take it back.
Take it back.
Action.
I'm glad to be here. Nigeria is warm.
Yes.
And nice. Always nice.
How you finding the weather? How are you finding the escape?
It's home.
The escape from Siberia.
Escape from Siberia, indeed. I'm glad to be home.
Fantastic.
Glad to be here for the final leg of an incredible race. I'm excited.
Yeah. So how are you seeing? So let's do something. Let's drop, because now we're not on NTA, we're not on channels, we're not, no pretense for you guys at home. We're gonna tell it how it is. There's media talk, and then there's real talk. On the couch, we do real talk.
Definitely.
What do you think of AAC's chances in the coming elections? How well do you think we've done?
I think we've done incredibly well. You know, I cast my mind back to about 10 months ago when this became real.
Yeah.
When Sowore came and said, look, it is time. It is time to take our country back. And for decades, what had happened, so let's think back to where this all started. Sowore has been doing this for about 30 years. Some of us have been privileged to have at least walked this path with him for a significant part of that 30 years. And before now, the thinking had always been that, look, the job of an activist was to police the system, was to help to fight for democratic governance, was to try to fight for a democratic space, but that it was not our place to take part in the democratic process itself. That our job was to stay on the sidelines, to provide ideas, and to fight whenever the fight needed to be fought for democracy. But what happened over the years, which has led us to where we are, is that nobody can speak your message for you.
Right.
Nobody feels the pain that you feel. No other person can be an effective messenger for a message that burns inside of you. And that's where we are today. So from where we started 10 months ago, I remember then March, I forget what day in March it was, the first town hall that we did in the US, in Maryland. Yeah. And to think back from that town hall, now we've had almost 200 town hall events, plus rallies, plus campaign stops, plus engagements on the street. It's an incredible thing. And along the way, what has happened? Along the way, we've mobilized an incredible army, hundreds of thousands of people around the world, millions of people within the country. This is the first true movement that this country has ever seen.
Right.
This is incredible. I think what every single member of this party and this movement, we should all be proud of what we've achieved. We should be proud of what we've achieved. People said we couldn't do it because we didn't have the money. But guess what?
The people raised the money.
What we've raised money, that's true, but compared to what they spent,
yes, yeah,
we've not spent anywhere close to what they've spent. But what we've done is you can't beat passion.
Yes.
Look, you can't stop an idea whose time has come.
Simple as.
And the truth of the matter is the time for this particular idea has come. It is time to take it back. It is time to take it back.
Definitely.
It is time to reclaim our country from the people that have just bastardized this nation. It is time for us to set Nigeria on a path of progress. And I think the difference between what used to happen before and now is there are two things. So one is we actually have somebody we can rally behind. I think the challenge in the past has always been a challenge of leadership.
Who will go? Yeah.
Who will lead? And the person who will lead has to be somebody that is worth following.
Yeah.
For many of us that are in this is the first time that we've come out openly, clearly, unequivocally supportive of somebody that is right in front of us. Why? Because the guy has a 30-year record.
Yeah, right.
A 30-year record of doing this. There's nobody else. And I stand to be corrected. There's absolutely no one else in this race and in this country that I'm aware of that has done what Sowore has done consistently, without ifs or buts, for 30 straight years.
That's right.
So one is worth following. Number two is we have an army of dedicated people. Look, I've known about the political process for quite a while. But what our volunteers have done, what people have done, I mean, most of the people in this room, a lot of people don't see what's behind the camera. But the truth of the matter is almost everybody, practically everybody here is a volunteer.
Yes.
Like, people are getting on airplanes, people are spending their last funds on getting data so that they can support what we're doing on WhatsApp. People are making videos. We see messages all the time. People have taken, jingles have been made. We're not paying for many of these things. Yeah. If we were to take every single person that has volunteered for this campaign, that has gone out there and engaged someone, that has sent a notice to somebody, that has pushed out a message from AAC, that has supported our work on the streets, that has talked about Sowore in a salon where they're making their hair. If we were to monetize all of those things, that is when we'll truly begin to understand the incredible thing that is happening and that has happened in this campaign. So your question was, how do I feel about where we are? I feel absolutely good about where we are. Now, there's a lot more work to be done.
Yes.
We don't stop until February 16th. Are we where we want to be? We're not exactly where we want to be yet, but we are well on the path to being where we need to be. You said it earlier, and both of you talked about this. We have come from not being existent 10 months ago to becoming, without a doubt, one of the 3 largest parties in this country. We have come from being non-existent 10 months ago.
Inconsequential.
We have come from being called inconsequential to actually changing. People say we're disruptive. Nigeria never had a town hall debate.
Yes.
They refused to have us in the debate, but guess what? They had to sit in a town hall session. Who started town halls in this country? We did. Sowore did.
because if Bond would not agree to another debate, they had to get him on there somehow, and that led to a town hall.
So we are in a place where we've created an incredible party. We've created but even more importantly, we've created an incredible movement.
That's made up of you guys.
Because part of the major challenge, and I've said this before, and I think it bears saying, that when you have a country where somebody can be in APC today
for breakfast
and then move into the PDP the next day, and there is no fundamental crisis that goes on in their mind, that there's no ideological wall that has been crossed, then we have a problem. So where we started with a movement, and that movement was one that contained all the ideas that we have. And what are those ideas? Those ideas are simply that Nigeria should be a country that we can all be proud of. Nigeria should be a place where it doesn't matter where you come from, it doesn't matter who your father is, it doesn't matter what your name is, it doesn't matter what your creed is, it doesn't matter who you call your God, it doesn't matter what ethnicity you are, that regardless of where you are, you should be able to wake up, have dreams, and have those dreams realized in your own country.
100%.
That's what this is all about.
Now you need to bring your principal.
So, the man of the moment,
Dun, dun, dun.
the marathoner, the presidential candidate, our president in waiting, Omoyele, Sowore. Take it back! Take it back!
Thank you so much. It's good to see you. It's good to see everyone. Have a good evening here, and wherever you may be around the world, you know, we're here again, spending our time with you on the couch. This is the best moment we spend outside of campaigning and doing what we regularly do. And I want to thank you, Kafi, for running with me yesterday. We've been running for a long time. Actually, we've done it in London a few times, and we're going to keep doing it. You know, it's very important that you talk about running. You know, it's not just physical, it's very mental, you know, and like I said yesterday to some people, running is life, it could be lifestyle, it could also bring people together, and it's also health, and also revenue. Like, if you can get some of the Boko Haram guys will be winning marathons for us, that's $1 million from New York every year, you know, if you win the one in London. And these guys are capable of doing it because that's the kind of environment they live in. But that's a conversation for another time. Thank you, Malcolm, for returning home finally. Most people don't even know that you don't live in Nigeria, you know. So you guys have made virtual reality a possibility politically. That is, you can just be in a remote corner of the world and run an organization so efficiently and so effectively as we have done in the last almost 10 months now. And we just came from Ibadan the other day, and people were quite surprised that with no money we're doing what we did. You guys are talking about money here. We did our research and found out that the major political parties spent every money we raised since we started this 9 months, which is about 100 million naira. That's how much they spent per rally.
Oh.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
You know, APC actually spends more, you know, because the governor's throwing money, you know, the presidency throwing money. They always have slush funds from different parts of different agencies, you know, that we want to talk about. There was one of them yesterday. We were talking about how she's the MD of NPA. That's Bala Usman's daughter. What's her name? Who used to be everybody's chief of staff. Yeah. So there was a story written about her in Sahara Reporters. I've not worked at Sahara Reporters for a while, and so she wrote that we should retract the story. She said it's not true. They accuse her of funding, you know, the exclusion of Sehu Sani from the election. And so she wrote and said, no, you know, if you don't remove the story, and she was on Twitter repeating that we should remove the story. I think that people wrote a rejoinder because she said, send in a rejoinder, tell your story we did. But she wasn't satisfied. She went out to hire American lawyers, you know, to threaten us that they will sue Sahara Reporters if we don't retract the story. And I'm telling her, you know, like, you are saying that there's no corruption in your government. You are working at the MPA as the MD. somebody wrote a story against you in Nigeria, you didn't go to a Nigerian court, you want to you go and hire American lawyers. You have just admitted to corruption, because where would you get the money to pay American lawyers to even work for you if you are not stealing the little money in Nigeria? Because to get a lawyer in America to work for you per hour, it's like $600 per hour. So to get that letter written to threaten Sahara reporters in New York, you have spent $10,000. Where did you get it?
That's right.
You know, and that's how they put themselves into trouble without thinking logically. But she said something during Buhari. They had an RNG youth meeting with Buhari, and Buhari was taking notes, pretending to take notes. When it was time for Buhari to answer the question, Buhari, who said he's taking notes, did not answer questions that they asked him. He said, and he was answering questions that he made up his own. So it was all a scam. But she said something very interesting that I said the other time we had a meeting on the couch here, that she was talking about how her being youthful, I think she's 40 years old, has helped her to push boundaries, do things that are courageous. And I'm looking at this like oxymoron. You're standing in front of a 75-year-old man who is absolutely in a state of dementia. There's no question about that anymore. I don't need to prove that medically. The man proves it on a daily basis. And then you are telling the rest of the country that we should vote for him, but you are saying that the reason why you are effective as the MD of MP is because you are young. I said, who is talking to this guy? Why don't they think, right? But that's where we are. Secondly, we do updates regarding politics today. Some elders in our area have also endorsed articles. One of them said they are Pan-Niger Delta Elders Forum. There's another one that said they are Middle Belt Forum. You know, they like a bunch of elders like that. As if, people should clap that elders are endorsing elders. Yes, exactly. We are telling you that we are tired of you old guards, and you are still endorsing yourselves and putting it in the newspapers. But in the course of doing this, we must keep taking the press to task. The Nigerian media is probably, especially the conventional media, they're probably the greatest, I would call them victims. At the same time, they made themselves victims of this. They are promoting the same failed ideas on a regular basis. They will not look our way. If we didn't have social media, we wouldn't have been able to grow so exponentially as we have now. They won't cover us. They keep promoting two political parties as the front runner, even when it is clear that these political parties don't have any ideas. They haven't, you have presidential candidates who have not spoken to the media more than twice in the election cycle. You can't find articles sitting there. If it's in the US or other democracies, they will be pinning them down inside the plane, everywhere they find them, they'll be shoving microphones in their faces, asking questions. These other guys, they shield their the two presidential candidates, and then they keep asking us, oh, they say you don't have chance, it doesn't even make sense, the kind of questions they ask us when we do. That's if they even come to you at all. I went to the marathon yesterday. All of the sports editors, reporters were sitting on the floor, camera people. I walked past them, they wouldn't even greet me. I had to greet them. I was like, hey, it's good to see you guys. I'm running. But all of them are waiting for Ambode, governor of Lagos, who didn't run, whose only job is to hand over checks to the runners. That's all. That's the only person they were interested in. They were not interested in the presidential candidates, the first in the history of Nigeria that we know who participated in the marathon. They're not interested. And the reason you all know why, because they said if you don't give communiqua, that's what they call the brown envelope thing, you can't get their attention. I'm not saying that all of them are guilty of this, but that is mostly what they do. For me, and I'm not saying it because I participated, if I sent a reporter there yesterday, my thing would be to look for something brand new at the marathon. And what would it be? Is the presidential candidate running during an election, 2 weeks to the election. I remember when the wife of Kenyan president went to run in London Marathon. It was such a big story, They followed her. People were following her. When people like Kevin Hart ran in New York, it was a headline. When the PDD ran, it was the headline. But in Nigeria, they are not interested in us. But thank you guys on the social media circuits. That's our territory. You're doing a fantastic job. Our guys on Instagram doing fantastic. Facebook. Now a lot of our people are migrating to Twitter. We want you guys to keep going to Twitter. Twitter is where to be. We should be everywhere so that we can cover every place from wall to wall, and we can be part of every conversation that's happening. If you guys knew or you know by now, the little efforts you are making from your homes, you know, from your devices, made all the difference that you're seeing today. If it's not for you guys, we won't be sitting down here in front of you tonight. We won't be part of this race anymore. Right. But every idea that we had, you took it and ran with it. And that's how we achieved virality in all of ideas. That's how we pushed every idea we had, how Spicer Hill became a household name, how our candidacy moved from inconsequential to the one that is delivering consequences against people who said so. You know, this is something that we have to keep thanking you guys for. And now, importantly, to find out that most of you have left your respective countries of abode and come to Nigeria just so that you can be with us. That one we're going to have a special for. So if you are in town because of us, please reach out. We want to have like a big town hall meeting for people who dropped in. But here is what we're having a conversation about earlier with Malcolm. Turns out that people abroad are dropping in more money into Nigeria than we're making from oil per year. You know, it's like our budget is $38 billion, $35 billion. So
right now about 25 billion.
But
yes.
People who are living abroad are dropping over $50 billion every year into the Nigerian economy. And we're not even thanking you for it. You don't even have right to vote. And to make it worse, we don't even have an airport to arrive at. You know, that takes me to the African-American woman who did the viral.
Oh yeah, oh, I loved that.
You know, I don't know what to think of it. You know, I've lived in the US for 19 years. I've never had somebody cause that many times in just a few minutes. But
if you haven't heard it.
Yeah, if you haven't heard it, there's a viral video going out around
an audio.
An audio, yes. But an African-American woman who came to Nigeria and saw the airport, and she just kept talking about the airport. My favorite moment in that viral audio is not the conversation about the. She said two things. It was about the collapse of the PDP podium. She said, you know, how can you vote for a party that cannot even construct a podium? How can a party that can't construct a podium manage a country?
That's right.
You know, the second thing she said, I couldn't stop laughing, and you know, it's not funny. Is that, you know, he said, it looks like Nigerian electricity is on a timer. Like every she said, it's going on and off as if it's permanently on a timer. She said so many things that made sense, but she probably caused too many times. You know, just in about, I think 7 minutes long, was that how long it is? It's crazy. If you haven't gotten it, you should look for it. It's insane. I think you should get to our leaders. Our leaders should be ashamed. It's just nothing she's saying that we haven't said. Yeah. We've talked about this airport. We went to Ghana the other day, and Ghana has probably better, you know, the terminal we arrived and departed from had, you know, it's better than what I've seen in some European cities. And it's better than what I've seen in some US cities. Ghana. Just, as they used to say in Nigeria, come on, Ghana.
That's right.
You know, and there's no, you know, there's no reason why they won't respect. In fact, we had an altercation with the Ghanaian security where we were living. So we were videotaping them, filming them live, and they saw us and they said, "Oh, why are you? This is security." And we said to them, "You didn't put a sign that, you know, we shouldn't film." And we argued up to a point, and the guy said, "Well, you took a uniform. You took us a uniform. You want to go and use us to campaign?" I said, "Campaign with Ghanaian uniform." You know, but it's telling you that they're having this sense of importance over us, that they think that the presidential candidate needs to come to Ghana and, you know, secretly film, you know. And they said, you are going to use us to campaign when you get back home. Well, in some ways, they're right, you know, because we are using Ghanaian airport to campaign for a better Nigeria. For us. That's a shame. So that's where we are, and you're welcome to the show once again. And I just want to do our little accounting, which we do every night. Let me just, oh Oh, I'm looking for this.
While you're looking for that, I'll just say one thing that I really loved about the audio tape is that she was really, really honest, and she said, look, I'm saying this as an outsider. She doesn't know anybody, even when she was saying Showore's name.
She didn't know how to pronounce my name, and I'm going to send my lawyers after her.
She didn't know anything, and this is what she was saying as an outside observer. And sometimes she said it herself that sometimes there's actually people looking at the outside that will know these things. I mean, I remember when I first came to Nigeria and I was so shocked that electricity went off. But now when I come in, I'm like, oh, okay, the light has gone. Like, I see it as, which is a shame. It shouldn't be a normal thing. Do you know what I mean? This should not be a normal thing. So it takes somebody from the outside to actually see things as it is and actually raise their anger. And she was swearing many times in that however 7-minute long audio tape.
And she did say that she's been to Jamaica,
yeah.
And that the airport is better than Nigeria, and she's been to many places. And she said she did give, you know, she did give us some commendation on music, and she said, I love my Nigerian music, you know, but she was really disappointed. She said she lost her bags when she arrived as well. So hopefully she found it. Actually, if you know this woman, please, I would like to talk to her, you know. I just need her to tone down the way she was cursing, my goodness, because now we can't even play it to kids, what she said, but she made total sense. A lot of people are upset with her, by the way, on social media. The interesting thing about Nigeria is that, as bad as Nigeria is, a lot of people really love, you know, to keep the integrity of Nigeria intact. So if you want to get Nigerians upset, just go after Nigeria just like that.
It's like we can talk about it, but outside people
can't. Exactly. So you can imagine the whole Jollof war that we fought. Now, who won the war, by the way? I hope we won it, because Ghana cannot just be winning everything. Yeah? We always win that. We always win the Jollof war. Yeah. So, just to do the accounting a little bit, guys. So we had asked about 10K Nigerians to donate 10K each since the 17th of December. Now we've reached 211 donors. You know, we asked 400 Nigerians to donate 1 million naira each. So far, only 3. Like, that hasn't moved an inch. But the total amount donated since the last fundraising event on February 1st. Zenith Bank, we have 430,290 naira. GoFundMe, we have $1,984 dollars. That's equivalent of 710,272 naira. So we have totally in the bank since February 1st 1,140,562 naira. That's both combined now. So that takes us to a Zenith Bank donation, which is now moved to 62,191,376 naira 88 kobo. And GoFundMe has gone to $144,639, equivalent of 51,780,762 naira. So at this point, we have been able to collect 113,972,138 naira 88 kobo. For our donors from Zenith Bank, Enu John 1,000 naira, Ibeju Daniel Ebubechi 2,000 naira, Osibodu Theophilus 2,000 naira, Odibo Imade Sarah 5,000 naira, Adeshino Adebamiji Oluwasinoyomi 5,000 naira, Adeyemo Adeyinka Emmanuel 7,790 naira, Onamusi Onatolu Odusemowo 10,000 naira, Olaoluyemisi Akintomide 10,000 naira, Adebayo Tony Showumi 10,000 naira, Maburu Koje Joseph 10,000 naira, Bayemi David Olumuyiwa 10,000 naira, Esther Ekiom Aye 10,000 naira, Frank Olumide Oshodi 10,000 naira, Benny King Square 5 30,000 naira, Ogbodu Patient is okay 30,000 naira, Sheriff Charles Mamudu 30,000 naira, Anonymous for 35,500, Adenike Fajuke 45,000 naira, Goodbye Sunday Adebola 50,000 naira, Bankole Olabi 100,000 naira, Ngozi Osamu Diame, 2,000 naira. Adebambo Riyomi Robinson, 5,000 naira. Olawale Titilade Abigail, 5,000 naira. Luwoye Olaoluwa, 5,000 naira. For GoFundMe, Ayo Awolalu, $50. Babatunde Sowore, $50. Deborah Arawi, $10. Lukman Lere, $10. Peru Ugo, $50. Femi Ogeleye, $100. Ogogo Igewe, $50. Iyo Ahumere, $50. Soge Gubadia, $100. Obianuju Ogbokiri, $20. Dele Ola, $70. Oluwafunso Felix, $20. Florence A, $40. Francis Ogodweze, $50. Rex Peter, $100. Yanex Ewere, $35. Regular. Tojin Jewins is $100. Israel Sonya, $60. John Agojuno, $200. Adekola and Larissa Panuga, $120. Ngozi Ugo, $45. Dr. Alsa, $35. Bumi Opateru, $50. David Akombi, $40. Daniel Amuson, $39. Grace Brown, $50. Olufemi Oladende, $100. Bola Amon, $250. Udeze Harry, $40. Yalex Ewere again, $30. Johnson Fadimu, $20. Wow, we have a full house now, but nobody's clapping. Yes, thank you guys. I see a lot of new faces in the house. You're welcome. This is our time on the couch, and we have special mention of donation of 50K and above. Ogumbayo Sunday Adebola, 50K. Bankole Olabi, 100K. John Agadiono, $200. $600. Bola Amo, $250. Period of 89,500. So that's where we are financially at this point, and I see a lot of faces. You know, do you guys want to introduce who these new faces are?
Mr. Victor, Europe coordinator, take it back.
Wow, that's Victor right there. You changed it back. You have to
just come quickly and put your face here so people can see you.
Yeah.
Take it back.
Wow, I didn't recognize you, man. You're welcome.
Good to see you, man. Good to see you.
So we were just talking about people who came from Europe, and I just seen somebody at the back there. Was strategy, communicator, strategy, Dr. Lawal.
No, please, come over.
This is from New York, man.
New York.
Yes.
The city that answered his name twice.
Okay, Mr. President, if I may.
Yes.
So just talking about the donations.
Yes.
So there are two things going on here. The first one is, I think anybody who watches The Couch and anybody who sees the transparency in accounting should know that this is what Nigeria needs. This is the breath of fresh air that Nigeria needs. But the second thing is, let's dig a little deeper into these numbers. People have given a lot, and we want to thank everybody for what they've done.
Yes.
We've raised just a little over about 110 million.
Yes.
Naira.
Naira.
So you said something earlier, and I want us to dig a little deeper into it. When you see a PDP or APC rally, each human being you see there has been mobilized with at least about 5,000 naira.
That's right.
If only 20,000 people go to that rally, that is 100 million naira. Every single rally you see, the PDP or the APC hold, is more than everything we've raised
in the last
from when we started till now.
Yes, that's true.
So the truth of the matter is, it's incredible where we are. That we have been able to do with what they do with one rally. All of this. But the other thing it points out is we have a long way to go. So there are many of you who reach out to us and say, oh, there are no billboards in my local government, no banners.
No jingles.
Here's the reality. The truth of the matter is we're doing the best we can with what you've given, but here's the reality. There are 774 local government areas in Nigeria. One billboard is about 1 million naira.
Yes. The least is 500,000.
Between 500,000 to 1 million. So just having one billboard, not in every city in Nigeria, but in every local government, means we need about 350 to 780 million naira.
Yes.
More than 4 to 8 times what we've raised since March. So when you don't see our billboards, it's not because we don't want to have billboards. It's because of what it costs. When you tell us we're not on TV, a single 1 minute ad on TV is about 1 million naira.
Yes.
So that's what we're going through. And what we're trying to do is to make sure that the sacrifices that you're making, that we're making the best of them. But here is an appeal that we're making directly to you.
Yes.
Those of you who have the funds to put us on TV, it's going to cost us between 500,000 to 1 million naira each. Please reach out to us.
Yes.
We want to be on TV. We have a message that all Nigerians should listen to. We want to be on every radio station. It costs money to make those jingles. What we have prioritized so far, because of the sparse resources that we've had, is to prioritize engagement on the ground.
Yes.
But even engagement on the ground, we need handbills, we need posters, we need flyers, we need car stickers, we need t-shirts,
hats.
We need hats.
Face caps, yeah.
Face caps. You know, wristbands.
Yes.
Our needs are significant. But we must be, again, I cannot just emphasize the fact that we need to be incredibly proud of what we've achieved. Yeah. And part of what you are seeing here, so you don't see, please, for the first time, can you please turn around? Can you please turn this around so people can see what is behind?
Behind the camera.
This is what is behind the couch. Take it back.
Action.
AAC.
Take it back.
Take it back.
Action.
So what you are seeing is volunteerism in action.
And this is not the full house.
This is not the full house. Yeah. What you are seeing is
preparing for Benin tomorrow.
Yes. What you are seeing is the power of conviction. This is not the full house. People have given of themselves. Yeah. So yes, we've only raised maybe a little over 100 million. But what people have given in terms of their commitments, in terms of sacrifices. Victor here, we're meeting for the first time. It's incredible.
Well. Take it back.
Action.
Take it back.
I should also add that in the midst of this, there are things that are not being calculated. Yeah, we'll talk about the app later. It's the sacrifices made by people like Victor in Europe, guys in Spain, guys in
South Africa,
Australia, several cities in the US, and they are still doing that as we speak.
That's right.
To take us into their cities, invite us to do event, town hall meetings, pay for our hotel, food, drove us around town.
On their own expense.
Yeah, their own expense. But there's also, some kind of donations that we haven't been able to collect so far. Those people who just started donating on PayPal recently.
That's right.
We started announcing them. But we haven't fully explained those, so that transparently that we're just collating that. And some other people who are sending money to the US groups, they have been contributing. Individuals have also been sending money directly through Deep. You can
That's right.
that.
So yes, exactly. So Deep. Yes. So there are 3 strategic things that we need to very quickly explain to you. What we lack in resources, financial resources, we don't lack in brain power and conviction. So as Sowore explained to you earlier, we have been doing an incredible work on every platform that's available to us, on social media, on the streets, and engagements. So we have 3 fundamental strategic approaches that we're using. We have something called Side. So a while back, you must have seen notices going out saying everybody should make a video, and I should send that video out. So Side stands for, the S stands for Rachel. The S stands for Insight. It's shoot, right? So S is shoot. I is identify. So S is shoot. Identify. I is identify. The D is disseminate, and then the E is electrify. So what Side does is, Side is what each member can do. We may not have billboards, but you are your own billboard. You have 200 contacts in your phone. Instead of just texting them and saying, vote for Sowore, do a video. Talk about your conviction. There's nothing more powerful than the testimony of a person about something that they believe in. So what Side requires you to do is shoot a video, identify contacts within your phone, disseminate and deliver that video to them, and just electrify and engage. So spend a short amount of time. And why do we want you to do it in 30 to 45 seconds? Because that allows us to put it on Instagram, allows us to actually send it out without using up a lot of data. Each individual should do that. If you have not yet done a Side video, please do one. Make a video, show yourself speaking about why you believe so passionately in the AAC, why you believe so passionately in Sowore, why you believe so passionately in the AAC's candidates, and send it to all your contacts and ask them to send it again. Each person doing that, there's no way you don't have 50 to 100 contacts.
Yes.
That is 50 to 100 people that you will impact with the work that you've done. The other one is something called GET. GET is what we do at a community level. So GET means gather. So get together at your neighborhood level. Anywhere you have Take It Back as around, you just gather. That's the G. The E is engage. So we gather, we go out, we have an engagement, and then the T is target. On those engagements, we get names. We engage with people in our communities, in market squares, in churches, in mosques. We talk to them about what our beliefs are. And once we've engaged them, we collect their details. And then we use those details to target them. So that's GET. The final one is something called DEEP. DEEP stands for Diaspora Electoral Engagement Project. So what does DEEP do? There are thousands and thousands of people in diaspora. Some of us here are representatives of the diaspora component. So there's a strong Nigerian component where our brothers and sisters on the ground are the ones pounding the pavements. They're the ones actually standing in the way. We talked about tomorrow the fact that there's a court case. There are 6 of our members that were arrested. They're the ones doing the work, right? They're the ones that are engaged in the battle right there. But our brothers and sisters in diaspora, they are with us in spirit. And beyond being with us in spirit, we need their resources to also be with us. So what the Diaspora Electoral Engagement Project does is it identifies all of our supporters in diaspora and we link them up with local governments and states. So that as those local governments, so part of what is not reflected in this 110 million is that there are some local governments and states that are being directly supported from diaspora. So right now, Victor is from Edo, right? Yeah. There are certain things going on in Edo that we don't even know about. Why? Because people like Victor and others, supporters around the world,
Mega Comrade,
and the PFN, they are directly supporting. There are people from states like Kwara, which is where Dr. Lawal's from, that are directly engaged with them. There are people from states like Ogun State, where folks like Tawa and Dr. Tunuga and others are directly engaging. So that is what DEEP is about. DEEP is people also in Adamawa. Exactly. And part of what we've done as well is that for states that don't have people in diaspora, we have adopted states.
Yes. That's true.
So there are certain states. That, where we don't have diaspora elements. But what we've done is we've had states that have adopted them. So what we're ensuring is that no ground is left uncovered. Now, here's the final thing I want to talk to all of you about today. So remember, we have 3 strategic elements. Side is everybody's responsibility. Shoot a video, send it out, 30 to 45 seconds, nothing major. Why do you believe in Sowore? Why do you believe in AAC? Just spread it out. Keep sending it out. These things go viral. Next one is GET. At your neighborhood level, find those that are members of the AAC and Take It Back. Engage with them, gather with them, engage with people, target them, follow up. Third one is DEEP. DEEP is going on. DEEP is how we're funding things at the grassroots level. But here's what all of us need to also do. We've told you we're the digital party. So we have created an app. This is what the app looks like. I hope it doesn't go off. So all of you should go to the Google Play Store. It's an Android app. This app is how we are going to monitor the elections. What the app allows you to do when you download it, for those of you with PVCs, is it allows you to enter your polling unit. Once you enter your polling unit, the app allows you to actually input the results from that polling unit, take a picture of the pasted results, and as soon as you hit send, Abiodun, can you come over and just
do the demonstration?
And just do the demonstration.
All right.
Okay?
Raise it up.
So what we want to happen is every Nigerian, regardless of party affiliation, whether you're a member of the AAC or not, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, the only way we're going to safeguard this election is to make sure that the magic that normally happens between the polling unit and the collation center doesn't happen.
Yes.
That in the 120,000 polling units, as soon as those results are announced, every Nigerian present can use this app to immediately begin to send us the results.
Yes.
As soon as they send the results, and it also allows you to take a picture. So in every polling unit, what is going to happen in every polling unit is once the election is done, they will count the votes,
right,
and they will announce the results.
Right.
Then they will paste those results in the polling unit. Once the votes are announced, just type the numbers in. Next, take a picture. As soon as you hit send, it is moving straight into our data collection center. And while INEC is reporting their numbers, we also have the capacity to also know what is going on, and we're going to keep our members and Nigerians aware of what is going on.
We'll let you know.
It is everybody's duty. If you're a Nigerian, this is your duty. You must download this app. Go to the Google Play Store. It's an Android app. It's AAC. Take it back. Once you download it, register, and this is one of the ways in which we're going to be safeguarding the elections.
Thank you so much, Malcolm. Just as you were doing this,
we hit 1K.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
man. Thank you. I'm going to let Victor come on very quickly, but just as we're doing, just so that you know that people they're not giving up. They make this. This is Kelly from Frankfurt.
Oh,
he just made 5,000 of this, and he's bringing it next week. 5,000. So, and before I start reading out the donations, people are already donating on in our Zenith Bank account. We have a 10,000 naira from somebody who said it's just, I think he just went to an ATM and sent it. So this is anonymous. We have Obina Ifeanyi Oparos of 5,000 naira. Adejumo Adewi 5,000. Adeyemo Ademola Ezekiel 10,000. Adedotun, this is Jaguna Adedotun Yemi 50,000. So we will be announcing more and more of this, but thank you very much, Victor. Let's have you say what motivated you to leave Germany to come on this trip.
Good evening, Nigerians. Good evening, all techie backers. Good evening, my presidential candidate. Good evening, my DG.
DG.
Yeah, the able DG. And good evening, everyone. Yes, it's good to be here. I came in just about a few hours ago from Germany, and I bring you great things from all Nigerians living in Europe. We are here to send a clear message to the whole world that Nigerians can get it right.
That's right.
The fact is that some people are wondering why are all the youths or people from the diaspora identifying with Sowore. Sowore has got all it takes to rule this nation, to govern this nation in a way that where we are coming from, Nigeria might even look better than Germany. Nigeria will look better than America. He has all what it takes. And what we are saying is that the message we are sending across is very simple, that we are not joking. This election, Nigerians are not joking. If they think this is just a play, some people are saying Sowore is not going to make it, it's just coming to test the waters. No. We are going to shock them. We are here to say that Nigerians are angry. And we want to demonstrate that anger in the polling box.
That's right.
We want to demonstrate that anger. For those people, we're here to tell and encourage those people who are still sitting on the fence and saying, oh, you guys can, you know, I mean, this country is finished. No, you can play a role. Go clean up that PVC that you've collected and go to the polls and vote Sowore. And more so, I want to use this medium to encourage all the Europeans, all the Nigerians living in Europe. Come home. Come home and let's make this dream a reality. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Lukman. You came all the way from New York as well.
New York.
People have claimed that it's the cold weather that drove you guys. But yeah.
So for me, I will first of all want to commend everybody from the DG, because we have volunteers from the DG up to the last person at the polling units working passionately
for free.
For free.
Yeah.
You will never find a DG that works 24 hours anywhere in any campaign for free. Yes. We have it in Take It Back. I think we should give him. We have polling. You will hear that we have only made about 100 million and we've only spent that much or less, but in terms of human capital, we have invested in this project. Absolutely. Let me let you know, if you want to get consultancy service from Dr. Malcolm for just 2 hours, it's going to be...
Oh, he's going to charge you millions. Yes, don't even mention it.
So, Mr. Rachel, if you go to employ a service for just a day, that money in GoFundMe is not going to... It's not going to pay the bill.
Yeah.
So, and I want
Victor
to...
here.
And Victor, of course.
Let's put our hands together for Rachel.
Of all the people,
everyone.
My consultant service is the cheapest. I do regular $7 per hour.
So I want to say this, and a number of people have actually asked me, Sowore is your friend. I said, no, let me correct an impression. I started following Sowore in my 100 level in 1993 when I entered Ahmadu Bello University as a medical student. Wow. He addressed a press conference shortly after the annulment of June 12th. And when Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida was going to install Shoneko as interim national government, Gani Fawehinmi has always told the world, Babangida has an hidden agenda. But that day I saw a young man, Sowore was addressing the world press conference. I was telling the world, the hidden agenda is an interim national government. I started following him. And that was why when he launched his president, and I followed him that much. I met him when he launched his presidential bid few months ago, and I followed him that much. And I told him, Mr. President, I call him Mr. President, I know where you stand on every issue, even when I disagree with you. And the Sowore that you are seeing, vibrant, eloquent, is the same Sowore I know them back then. And you can always be sure that you have a trusted president. Not a president that will be struggling with defining conflict of interest. You have a president that will stand by Nigerians, will be ready to lay his life for Nigerians. I think this is an opportunity for us. And they might tell you that you don't have the number. It's just a misconstrued information.
They are doing it on purpose.
They are doing it on purpose. They will say, why are you campaigning on social media? It is also not true. If you go to do a rally that has 50,000 capacity, why are you posting the picture on social media?
Exactly.
You understand? If you think that Nigerians have decided, then stop campaigning. Yeah. Leave Sowore alone to be doing the campaign. Yeah. Then leave the feed and let's meet on February 16. So there are a lot of myths and misconceptions going on. And the easiest message to sell is the truth. You don't need oration. You don't need to be an orator. You don't need to be eloquent. And it was demonstrated in 1993. Chief M.K. Abiola was a stammerer. Bashir Tofa is an orator. Chief M.K. Abiola, but because Chief M.K. Abiola has a message of farewell to poverty, it wasn't difficult to sell. So if they tell you it's because he doesn't have the power of eloquence, that's why he's not talking to you, it's a lie. He doesn't have, that candidate has no message.
Yes, and it's true. Before we go ahead, let's also introduce Omoyele, who is upstairs somewhere. He just came from the US today as well. And also Pius Omoyele, who has been an engine room for this platform for a long time. He just came from abroad too. We went to Accra together.
Yes.
Accra is now Nigeria's abroad. It's a shame. Anyways, thank you guys a lot. And you know, tonight we also want to raise funds. So a lot of people have been making donations as usual. Even when you don't ask them, they're doing it. If you donate while we're here, we will announce your name. If you don't want your name to be announced, you can contact us on the WhatsApp line we use, which is 0818-823-7529, so that we don't announce. So there's some message I want to read here. It said, well, this one, hello, Mr. President, I just donated $20. This Ken Demoitala, known as Kenny Joker. I said, I'm based in the UK. I've been following and supporting TIB from day one. I'm happy with the way we are growing the party. I've contributed via GoFundMe and Nigeria account as well. Now I want to contribute musical equipment and stage from Ogun State campaign. We are based in the Sarah Remo. Please, somebody take notes so that we can get that. Yeah. Are you in touch with that person?
Fantastic.
Thank you, Kenny. Kenny Joker. You're not a joker. You're very serious. Somebody here is President Michael Fabi. It's good to have you back on the couch, Mr. President. Be rest assured that our office can confirm that you are the President-elect of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. All right. Come 16th of February 2019. Be ready. Nigeria needs to have this very difficult time. Need God bless Mr. President. This is Yi Osazwe. This Pastor Yi Osazwe Sunday. I know him very well. Pastor, thank you so much. There's another message here from a guy that's a friend of ours in Italy. And sorry, not Italy, but Libya. That's Muyewa. Yeah, he wrote us and said his internet in Libya is better than that of Nigeria. Yeah, they have electricity even though they're at war. Yeah. Can you believe that? Wow. You know, there are some people who were rescued by the Nigerian government from Italy. They've gone back. They ran back.
They went back.
Yes.
To the war zone.
Yes. They prefer dead than here. So, Mr. President, I want to use this time to tell you something, sir. Nigeria leadership are planning to do something against you. You need to be very careful, sir. God is with you all the time. Take it back.
Action.
Yeah, we're not worried about that. They've tried all kind of things. You know, we're in this to win, and victory for us is sacrifice, is commitment, is resilience, and if necessary, resistance. Sure. So nothing to worry about. So those are some of it. Let me see if we have any donations from GoFundMe at this time, because what they do is to send you, when you're getting regular donations from GoFundMe, they send you what they call hourly summary. Right. So let's see what we have. We have one person contributed $10. That's Iginla Moritala. Thank you, Moritala. Gladys Adeniji just contributed $20. There's $30 from Tululokwe Odun Jinri. Yes, these are 3 contributors since the last time we went out here. So, guys, thank you so much. Do you have any questions, by the way, from either YouTube or Facebook?
Not for now. A lot of people are excited to see
Malcolm again. I know, yeah. I know. They thought he ran away.
That's fake news.
Fake news. Yes. So,
which reminds me, there's something you should address. A lot of people are sending this message saying that there is word on the streets that they're going to poison ballot ink.
Yeah.
Oh,
so you should dispel it as fake news.
I'm not INEC. How will I dispel that? But
it will affect your vote if you
but don't. What I'm saying is that, look, one of the things I advise people is if you want to pick news, don't take news from Fanika there at this time. So there's a lot of this news that's going on. They come from him for real. Yeah. You know, I don't think anybody's going to poison ballot ink, because even INEC officials have to handle the ink themselves. It means that the whole country, pretty much over 120, the number of ballot, INEC officials that work at every polling unit is going to be about
5 to 6.
So if you multiply that by 120,000, that's the number of people that would die in one day. You know, that's 600. There's going to be a lot of fake news, conspiracy theories, all kinds of things. You remember in those days where they say, oh, they want to poison tomato coming from the north. It doesn't just make sense. You know, and they're probably doing it so that you don't go out and vote.
Yeah,
please don't fall for any tricks. They have discovered that we have people who have made up their minds secretly to vote for us. We saw them when we went to the marathon. Kathy didn't mention an old woman who we met. I think she has an Instagram page, and this woman is probably like in her 80s. and she participated in the marathon yesterday. A lot of people are aware of us. You know, people we didn't even know are working for us out there. Amazing. Amazing. So they're probably trying to discourage this population. They are always telling you that Buhari will win. Atiku people will say, even this day today came out and allocated, I think it's Dele Momodu that wrote that one. Votes, Atiku will win 3 states here. They don't have any states anywhere. Nobody's going to vote for a thief, and nobody wants to vote for an incompetent person with dementia. I'm sorry. It's not, Nigerians are smart. There are 20. Look, when we started out, we kept telling people that a lot of things have changed until the figures started coming out, and then they now realize that we're probably the only ones doing the brain work for this election. Look at the number of voters now. 51% are young people. The market women, everybody say, go and meet market women. There are only about 7 million of them. So even if all of them vote for you, you are not going to win the election until the young people of this country decide. The deciding force in this vote are Nigerian students and youths.
Yes.
They are the people who will decide this election, not market women. We need them, no doubt.
Right.
Not civil servants. We need them because we are the ones who have we are the only ones that have position on how civil servants will fare better. Yeah. With our minimum wage. And now everybody's talking about minimum wage. Even the Speaker of the House the other said 30,000 is nonsense. Now we are even in a position where we're about to increase our minimum wage because if you look at it, it's not enough.
Yeah, because they are stealing our ideas.
Yeah, they're stealing our ideas. Yeah. But it's our starting point, because we understand that living wage is what will jumpstart the Nigerian economy. Malcolm here, we were having a conversation about how the US economy got out of poverty after they had a Great Depression in 1929, I think. And you're talking about the Keynesian theory.
That's right.
Which is that they decided that for the economy to get out of the horrible condition it was, they said one of the Keynesian theories is that if you are paying a worker to dig a hole and putting back the sand after they finish digging, it's going to jumpstart the economy. That is, you are paying everybody that you can afford to pay. You keep your money, you keep empowering people, they will start working, they will start moving things. If you hire a teacher, and you are paying the teacher 100,000, he will by himself, out of his 100,000, go and create a farm. Right. And the farm will supply food, crops, and that will create food security. If you hire a doctor, and is working in a rural area, and is earning 200,000 naira, he will pay somebody to build a farm at the back, he will rear goats, he will have a tomato farm. Before you know it, everybody will be supplying foodstuff as well. But when there's no money in the economy, people can't afford to even get out of bed. Everybody will just be playing Bet Naija, hoping that they will win big. And then when young people can't find jobs, they all go and queue up at BB Naija. BB Naija is only going to provide space for 13 people. But over 1 million people went out to go and audition for it.
That's right.
But there's an auditioning we must do on February 16. That one is bigger than the Big Brother Nigeria. Right. This is Big Brother and Big Sister Nigeria.
Take it back. Take it back. Action.
No going back. Mr. President, there is also something that we are going to be talking about in the next couple of days. That's going to be streaming live on our channels, and that is the Situation Room.
Yes.
So we are going to be breaking down the numbers.
Yes, Situation Room. Yeah.
Situation Room is not going to be, I think somebody is going to win some. No, we'll talk in real numbers.
Yes.
So you say Kano has 5 million votes, no doubt. But the peak of every election, 40 to 45% will vote.
Yes.
You understand? So we already start having the estimates. So
because that is how they rig election.
That's how they will tell you.
So they just throw out the numbers, nobody challenge them, and then they go and write results.
So we'll start reviewing the numbers in the next couple of days, up till Sowore is declared the president. Okay, we have some donation from Haiti. It's very interesting. Wow. It's a Haiti for Sowore, $20. He says, as a Haitian who want to see the largest African economy prosper, I'm donating to the forward-looking individual for president. They have been donating. Yeah. I think I announced. There's also a Ade Bukola Salimon just donated $100 13 minutes ago. And Mr. Kenny Joker Mwetala, $20. And Lukman Leary. That's my namesake.
Yes, $20. There's Vendra Hammer, my president, I wish you and the team a successful rally in Benin City tomorrow. AAC, take it back. That's $80. That's Hello Ejego, $10. And then the last person was Tolulokwe Odu Jiri, who donated $30. Thank you guys. So the donations kept coming in. I have to take a quick look at Zenith Bank here. I see a donation or two from there. People are, what is interesting, Malcolm, is also to look at how we started getting donations first from the diaspora, and the people at home got upset, and now they're doing better than the diaspora.
And they started later.
Yes, they started later than the diaspora. They just want to let you know that this is their bad.
Yes.
No, there's also a misconception going on to divide Nigerians. That there's a Nigerian that is diaspora, and there's a Nigerian that is at home.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There's one Nigeria.
No, there is one Nigeria. Please, let's get this very clear.
Right.
There are some Nigerians in the diaspora that are still struggling to agree with our message.
Yeah.
In as much as there are Nigerians in Nigeria that disagree with us.
Yeah.
So we have just one Nigeria. Just the same way the Buhari government created whalers and ALAs.
Yes.
Just to create that division. We don't have that division. We have one.
Let me come in here. The fact is that Nigerians. It's not that Nigerians don't believe in Sowore. With the majority of people I've spoken to, both here in Nigeria and in diaspora, they believe in Sowore. But what they are saying is that will they allow him? So this shouldn't be the issue. The issue is that let's support him. Each vote counts. Your vote is going to count. Because people are telling me their vote is not going to count, and we got to get that message across to them.
It will count.
This time that their message, their vote will count. It's very, very important. Please don't stay at home on February 16th. Very important. Go out there and vote. Yes.
So there's also, I know that currently there are some students at home that they'll be wondering that they registered on campus but also is on strike. There are a number of things you can do on election day. You can be an election monitor, and you can report the result instantaneously.
Yes.
So you can guide the illiterates on the balloting and how to thumbprint.
There's actually, just as you said, two things quickly. Is to let you know that the ASU strike is deliberate. They've been doing this to us forever.
Of course.
They always provoke an ASU strike so that students will not be around to do what they need to do, keep you at home. And this government of ours is going to be the end of ASU strikes in Nigeria. If you vote, if you're a student and you don't want ASU strikes again to happen to you, because as they usually say, we don't know which one strikes more between Shango and ASU. If you want to put an end to ASU strike, vote for people who have seen ASU strikes happen before, who know the reason why ASU go on strike. We experienced it 20 years ago when we were at the University. 30 years ago. 30 years ago. When we were at the University, they started this ASU strike thing some 30 years ago under Babangida, and it's still happening almost every year since then. If you want to put an end to ASU strike, vote for the guys who know how to resolve ASU issues, educational issues, period. Secondly, is to also let you know that as young people, these guys don't ever want you to have public education. Atiku has his own private university already. He doesn't care about you. You can't afford to go to his university if your father is not a thief. That's the truth. Almost. Or your father is a contractor to the government. Almost. That's how they want it. They destroyed public education so that they can have their own private institutions strive against you. Malcolm here, myself, Lukman, and I'm sure all of us are products of public education.
Sure, that's right.
You cannot claim to be a product of public education and have the kind of education we have today if you have been going to school in the last 10 years. It's not possible. They've destroyed everywhere else. We want to restore that back to our country. And like we said when I was traveling to Ghana, I showed them my passport and I said, with the glory of this passport is coming back. And it includes the ink on it. because somebody has embezzled the ink they used for my passport. The thing has disappeared. It's horrible. Let me quickly also mention our latest donor. There's a 10,000 anonymous that just came in. There's one good Doris, 20,000. Adeni Jolua Tosin, 200 naira. I know the person. She's one of the girls in this house. She's always trying to put in some ridiculous amount of money. Adeleke Olatunji Rashid, 2,000 naira. There's Kayo Mavore Bosa, 1,000 naira. So these are the donations for today. We want to also recognize our BOT chairman, our BOT member here, Ugo,
the secretary of our BOT, Mr. Ugochukwu.
Take it back.
Action.
Take it back.
Yes, please.
Am I permitted on this couch?
Yes, please.
Oh, yes, please.
You cannot do without being on the couch, you know. So thank you, welcome. You know, you've been talking to us since you came, you know. You even said something that's a little controversial. When one candidate was claiming that the Southeast will vote for him, you said, even without our presence like that, we are more popular than that person in the South. We don't want to mention his name. And, you know, thank you so much for doing what you're doing. We know that those of you in the BOT, they kind of fire your face because they're like, this is your candidate. The wildlife is too much. How do you handle that? You know?
Yeah, my presidential aspirant, the president waiting.
Yes.
I think is actually glorious to work with a team as we have.
Yeah.
The challenges are nice. They are awesome, and they are welcome because those are the things that we need to get this country working.
That's right.
Our party is a party for anyone that wishes good for this country.
Yes.
It's not a problem when you talk about you as stubborn. It's not a problem when they talk about you as showing not enough respect for the so-called elders. It is not a problem when they say you agitate too much on issues. It's not a problem. What the problem is when I see the people like all we have here and more outside who are supposed to have a problem with such people putting those problems, asking to take it back, having or giving them listening ears. That is what is the problem.
That's right.
So when such questions come, I, as a board of trustees member and as the secretary, I think I'm the stabilizer of the party.
Yes.
That's right.
We are the soul of the party.
That's right.
When such comes, we know our stand.
Yeah.
And we don't compromise in our stand.
That's right.
You know, the point is that our party, we are careful. We are a breed made alike. Because what the president says, what the DG says, is not different from what the board will say.
Yes.
And it's not different from what that member, our people who are in incarceration, who are being charged to court, who are being molested and accused for doing things justly for the betterment of the country they claim they have, and the only one for themselves and their children, justly, you know, are being made to face for no reason of theirs. So the problem is this. The problem is this, is the commitment. The youths of this country, by statistics, is about 60%.
Yeah.
More. Then you talk about the people in quotes ruling that are inspired.
Yes.
That can't put two together, that have been ruling us on lies, that have been using state fund to finance their family businesses, taking away their names. And some people are also in the race claiming they are youths. but then leading on ethnic agendas
Yes, it's a big
to
problem.
come into power. No, we don't go on that.
Yeah.
We don't believe in that. What are we saying? What are we taking back? We are taking back Nigeria.
Yeah.
That's right.
We are taking back credibility. We are taking back the belief. We are taking back Africa.
Yes, the continent.
Because Nigeria is the soul of Africa.
That's right. Give him a round of applause, guys.
Take back action.
So what are we doing? We are taking it back.
That's right.
AAC,
Take it back.
take it back.
Action.
We are taking it back. Come February 16th.
That's right.
Get your PVCs. We are not just talking, we are talking back the PVCs. Get your PVCs and we'll take it back.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. I should introduce we just have another arrival.
Thank you.
Yes. Mr. Leke Otunuga. Doctor, man. Doctor, this one is a real doctor, man. Doctor, you're welcome to
AC.
Take it back.
Take it back.
Action.
So you had some little delays.
Oh yes, yes. It was not a little delay. It was like 5 hours.
If we knew, we would have asked you to bring us quickly. Yes.
The only good thing was I was able to buy pepper soup from duty free.
Wow. They have a super duty free.
Yes, that's what I'm eating.
That's amazing. So, thank you. You're welcome. We've been telling people that a lot of people are arriving.
Oh yes.
St. Victor.
Oh, yes.
We've seen Dr. Lukman today, and yes, and there's few people that just came from Ghana as well. They
I
will
actually met another guy
on the flight.
Yeah. You know, from London to here. He was actually calling me from New York.
Wow.
Yes, and he said he was actually coming because of the elections.
That's amazing.
I asked him, does he know you? He said, yes. Have you met him? He said, no, but I will give everything to make sure this guy comes in and take it back from these people that are holding our country by the jugular. So I was I had to leave my seat and go stand at the back of the plane for 5 hours. We were talking.
Wow.
Very
that helped you to get
guy,
over that long flight.
Yes, very intelligent, very amazing guy.
Wow. Do you know his name?
Yes.
Not to mention it.
Yes, yes. I actually have his number and everything.
In case his landlord is in PDP.
Exactly.
So here's just picking up on that. The truth of the matter is, like, we're in for something incredible on the 16th.
Yeah.
We're in for something really, really, really remarkable.
Look, don't talk about it yet. You know, the ignorance of the misrulers is going to be their undoing.
The ignorance and arrogance.
And the arrogance is going to be their undoing.
Mostly the arrogance. Yeah.
Leave them. They will not know what it's there on the 16th.
Let me just read out the latest donors on our Zenith Bank side. 10,000 just came from Oluwaseun Rio. There's a Fabi Christian and Fumilayo here for 10,000 naira.
I think that's my auntie.
Wow. Amazing. They're watching. Saliu Peter for 20,000 naira. For 2,500, and I think that's the same person that gave money on GoFundMe. Ogunde Abolaji Dada, 1,000 naira. Dai Charles Ngogama, 1,000 naira. Yubio Iboga 6, Samuel, regular donor, 1,000 naira. Obani Koro, Olua Jeremy Ayob, 500 naira. Maybe, possibly. Okoyo George, 30,000 naira. There's a Foundry Logistics, is usually an anonymous person for 20,064 naira. Haruna Damola, 10,000 naira. The World We Meet, usually anonymous for 10,000 naira. That's where we are, ladies and gentlemen. But it's been an amazing evening here. How far can we go? Do you have any questions? How many people are watching, by the way?
990.
We reached 1,000.
Yeah.
The 1,000 was
We're consistent at 1,000.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. So more and more people are paying attention, and we're just about how many days to election? 14 days now.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
May I just quickly say something about the donors?
Yeah.
What has been an interesting phenomenon that we have seen in this movement is that people, you know, the talakawas, the bastardized, the raped, the plundered people of Nigeria, they are taking ownership of this movement and this party. This is the first time in my lifetime that I have seen that people are actually paying their widow's mite to promote a political cause. Unlike in the other parties where some godfathers will bring, you know, some tranche of money and then for something in return. All Nigerians are demanding from us is good governance.
That's right.
They are demanding that the country be returned back to its glorious past and even go beyond that. They are demanding that we move this country, you know, at par and in most cases ahead of some other advanced countries of the world. So this is very interesting, and people may not know it yet. This is a revolution right here.
It does happen.
It's a very big revolution that we have on our hands. And our promise to Nigerians is we will not let them down.
We won't.
So a few reminders, Mr. President. So please, tomorrow the AAC 6 are going to be in court. That court case, I believe, is at 9 a.m. We don't expect you. Those who can join us can join us. I think the court is in Oba. So we'll put that information on the WhatsApp platforms and on social media. So those who can join us should join us. But for every single person who is watching and every single member, what we need you to do in solidarity is make your profile image the image of the AAC 6. Their images are on social media, their images are on all our platforms. At a minimum, make them your image. Because what is happening to them... So, again, the background is important. APC people were tearing up Jimmy Agbaje's posters.
Including ours,
the PDP and ours. The PDP complained. And what the police then did was to try to look for scapegoats. The mistake they made was they came looking for the wrong scapegoats. Because in the AAC, nobody is a goat.
They found a
all of us are brothers and sisters. And the big error they made was to pick up AAC people. I'm sure they wished they had never picked those people up. So we have shown them that they cannot touch anything that is part of us without feeling the wrath of all of us. So please provide them with support. They are incredible young men. 2-3 a.m. while everybody else was sleeping, these were volunteers who picked up posters and were out.
Just reached the age of 18.
One of them was just turned 18. So please provide them with that level of support. The other thing I want to remind everybody of is download the app. Tell your friends to download the app. It is AAC and share it. When you download that app, it has a function that allows you to actually share it. On election day, we want to make sure that the 84 million registered voters, a significant majority of them with smartphones, we know at least about 40 million of them have smartphones. Each of them should go into that polling unit and function as an election monitor. That was how an opposition party won in 2015. And that is what they want us to forget. That the way they won, part of the way they won in 2015 was because the votes at the same time that INEC was doing the returns, a significant amount of the results were already known. We want to make sure that we do that again this year. So please, every single person is going to be part of that army of volunteers, army of monitors that are going to make sure that this election is going to be, that we're going to make and ensure that the elections are going to be respected, that the results and the will of the people will not be subverted. So please download the app. And by the way, we are the only party that has anything like this.
Because we're digital party.
Right? We're not even in office yet, but you can see the way in which governance is actually being done in a very cerebral manner.
We've told people that internet will be a fundamental human right.
Absolutely.
Yes.
On our government, you know, like we'll move it
We will
from
not only light up Nigeria, we will connect to Nigeria.
yes. And this is real because that's the future of connectivity, is the future of business, is the future of life.
That's right.
Health. Everything is internet based these days. Yes. You know, there's no room for stupidity anymore, idiocy.
No.
Guys, so we're excited this night, and a lot of people are watching. I think we dropped to 700 and something now.
Yeah, but we have 1,000 on YouTube. So.
On YouTube, 1,000 people watching on YouTube, and you don't have any, and we have so many people watching today. Not that many questions. And please let me address one more thing about Professor Soyinka, because a lot of people misconstrued what we sent out about him. What we said is that he indicated to me that he wants to announce support for a different candidate. Of course, being someone I've known for a long time, I advised him against it. I said, Prof, I don't think you should do that. I don't think this person represents the values you stand for. But that's my position. But some people have misconstrued it, and they are a little upset with Professor Soyinka. And I think because of what happened, the nation carried a story today saying that Soyinka is part of a group that's trying to select a candidate for a different candidate, and he came out and denied it. You know, don't worry about whatever position he takes. There are times that we have disagreed before. That's democracy.
That's right.
You know, we must be able to disagree and still be friends. I respect Soyinka totally. I don't want anybody to insult him. The reason I put out that message, or we put out that message, is such that when you hear it, you just understand that this is right. Just like you have the right to support it, has the right to support anybody else that he wants to support. We respect that, and we don't want anybody to be aggressive or insult anybody because they don't support us. It's the reason why when people abuse me or insult me on Facebook, I don't unfriend them. You know, I let them say whatever they want to say, and that has brought a lot of people to learn. You know, because they come with the aggressiveness that Sowore is this, and when they are schooled right there on my page, some of them are even more supportive today than they came, because a lot of people come with misconceptions, ignorance. A lot of people come with mischief. But at the end of the day, sometimes people actually are very aggressively against us because they feel like we are forcing them out of a corner of comfort. You know, you are taking them out of their comfort zone. You are making them to think. And the moment you force people to think, they feel like they have to act. So that initial resistance is coming from a place of like, leave me alone. You know, I'm okay where I am. I don't want to have to deal with you. I don't want to have to fight for anything. A lot of people are despondent about Nigeria. They don't want to fight for Nigeria, but you're forcing them to think about how to do it and then teaching them how to do it. But obviously, it's not everybody that has questions or that has got a position that's against us. It's not everybody that's against us.
Right.
Some of them are asking for answers in ways that they don't know how to ask you for.
That's right.
Please, take your time, explain to them, school them, explain to them why we're a better alternative, not the reason why we must force them to make us the alternative. That's right. Please continue to do that. The reason why we're where we are today is because we have been consistent about our messaging. Nobody has been able to fault anything we've done, even when they criticize our first. When we said marijuana, you know, cannabis, oh, you want to kill the country, then suddenly everybody realized that, wow, there's an economy out there. You know, when we came with minimum wages, inflation. When we broke it down to why it is not going to cause inflation, now everybody's asking lawmakers to give up their jumbo pay, you know. And lawmakers, including the Speaker of the House, has now agreed with us. In fact, they use the word living wage in condemning 30,000. And they are the ones that have been asked to approve 30,000. The Speaker said 30,000 is nonsense wage.
Indeed. No, when you say you are going to fire the generals.
When I say we're going to fire the generals for Boko Haram, how can general have? Then suddenly, everybody's talking about firing the general, including President Buhari saying that we realized that the generals have overstayed their usefulness. So what else did we say? What is that?
We started town hall, president.
Town hall, you know, we started town hall. Everybody said, yo, you people are internet president. Then everybody is supposed to do town hall, including Baba Goslow himself, you know. And it's the town halls that became the defining moment of this campaign.
That's right.
Not the debates.
Right.
So when they remove us from debate, they thought, if Sowore did not participate in debate, nobody will remember his name anymore. They did debate. Debate did not have any impact. It was the town hall settings that defined the conversations and the narratives that were developed around this. If Atiku's political career ended, it ended in that town hall meeting. Yeah. If Buhari's political career, hopefully ends, this on February 16, and that of Atiku too. All of them happened. Everybody's talking about town hall meetings, not the debates that they so badly wanted to preclude us from. So we have been very, very lucky. But what is important is for you to know that we're the ones driving most of the narratives that is defining this. Right. If there's any issue that is topical in this era, we started it.
People are talking about June 12th too.
June 12th, yes. Yes, forgot June 12th. We must not forget the fact that we said June 12th would be Democracy Day. It has gone full circle, when we went to highways and said they are bad, they went and awarded the contract, including the one to Badagry, even though they are not going to do anything about it. They tried to do the Kano, Kaduna one after we talked about it. So many things. So, do you guys have any questions for us?
No, but we're back to 1K on Facebook and 1.1K on YouTube.
Wow, what made them come back?
Shoyinka.
Only Shoyinka, yeah. Wow. So you can see the temperature going up and down. So Shoyinka is not our problem. He's not your problem. Please. He's very, very great friend of ours. We're inspired by his leadership. So whatever he decides to do at this time, don't worry about it. And there are people who have also gone to him to say, look, Prof, maybe you're not adequately briefed about who is actually popular who is the real deal among the popular candidates. So he has his own reasons, and I'm just appealing to all of you out there. Don't misconstrue our position to mean that, he has betrayed us. And no, not at all. He's not like that. They've been at this forever. If every one of us can do what the Shoyinkas of this world did, this country would not be like this. It won't. And that is what we are trying. We are trying to create a generation of Shoyinkas, very conscientious, young people who will grow up to become conscientious old people as well. Right. Not the grumpy, crazy old people now that are destroying the country. And I mean it, we are not disrespecting elders. These are our real elders. The Shoyinkas are the real elders. That's right. Not the other elders who are always looking for respect that they didn't deserve. So and we have a lot of great elders out there who are supporting us. You know them, you see them all the time. They talk to me all the time, they talk to you all the time. We had a case of an army general that drove his son out of the home because he was supporting us. And after a while, it was because we said I would fire out the general. So the son, he said, you are supporting this. He drove the guy out. You heard about the story, right? It was when we went for that TV interview somewhere in Okwebe area. And after a while, the son resisted. He said, Daddy, I'm supporting Sowore, whether he kicks you guys out of the army or not. I'm going to be. He said, but it is the army that is feeding the house. I said, no, the army is a disgrace at this time because you can't defeat Boko Haram. The guy left home, lo and behold, and the father is now looking for him to return back home. He has accepted his message. Thank you, guys. This is a kind of, these are people we call conscientious objectors, right? That's right. Yes. They object to what they don't agree with, regardless of the consequences. The likes of Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Muhammad Ali, done it before. Mandela did it before. So we need young people in this country who are resilient, who are resistant, and who are unafraid, and who cannot be forced to bow for something they don't believe in. And on that note, we want to really focus and thank our guys on Instagram. I mean, I don't know where they come from. They come in droves on Instagram, and they are helping us to police. It's a little controversial, but they are policing celebrities and asking them hard questions, like what's your, the questions they usually ask, where do you stand, this idea of, we are talking about whether, when we are talking about election, please talk about who you stand for.
But Mr. President, we should also celebrate the celebrities.
Yes, no, I was
that have also that have also clearly taking a stand.
They're taking a stand.
Yes. No, that's what I was going to do next. A lot of Instagram celebrities, but the guy that stand out the most is a guy called Today Ednuts in Atlanta. He probably was the guy who forced most of them to come out of hiding. And we have Duncan Mighty.
Duncan Mighty.
Yes, Duncan Mighty.
China.
We have China. Duncan Mighty. There's a guy yesterday who's Azados. Yeah. Is that the one that's Shema? Are they the same? No. So they're different guys. And
we have Sega Link on Twitter.
Sega Link, on Twitter, that's a guy also, he's been pretty consistent telling people, and also Deji Adeyanju, who is a PDP youth detained in Kano prison. Yes. He keeps sending out messages from time to time, even though he supports PDP. I think they put him in jail. They won't not let him participate in the election, which is despicable. Deji has been sending cryptic messages out of prison in Kano, saying that if there's any young person that is out there who is not compromised, it's Sowore, even though he's supporting PDP. So, and we urge them to free Deji. It's a shame that you go and put him in jail simply because for elections. Elections will be over, and those who who will lose in the election might end up in jail too.
Exactly. Yeah, they'll replace him.
There. Who else?
People need information about Edo State.
Idris Abdul Karim, yes.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes. We will be here at Edo State not later than 12 noon tomorrow at the airport, I think. But the events in Edo State will start at 8 a.m. Different parts of Benin City and Edo State. And we've been told to wait around that we might end up in Uromi. We're planning to visit a church with Feb Ahosa. Yeah. So, Benin is like our base. And don't let us fail to mention, I think there's a guy named Ambassador Dion Osage who's been raising money. He's raising money for the Benin group. Yes, I think I saw something about 500,000 naira that he raised. So somebody said we should acknowledge him. We haven't really.
Mega's people.
Yes. And Mega Comrade and PFM. Mega, it's a mega. So a lot of people working very hard. There's a friend who is organizing the 1 million man march in Benin as well, who is based in the UK. A lot of people in Edo State. Yeah. They're just all over. We just have to say to our people, the Oba Tokwe. He said. So, guys, we have 5 more minutes to go, and let me use that opportunity. If you have any questions, please. I think there's some donations that came in from Zenith Bank. Somebody reached out to me during the weekend saying, "Oh, you need to be transparent about donations." I said, "We're the most transparent. You can't find any other candidate who is telling where they're getting their money from and how they're spending it the way we are. We do it almost on a daily basis. That's right. We mention names of people we're getting money from and how the money is, and we actually do spend the money. You can see it when we go to Ibadan and we go around, when we go to Gombe, we go to Yankari Game Reserve, and we're having tires blow up in the middle of the desert, in the middle of nowhere. In most cases, we have no police, yes. But we must commend places where we had police protection. In Gombe, we had police follow us everywhere. We don't know where they came from. There was a place where we had DSS. Jalingo. The DSS guys were amazing. They followed us everywhere. They told us every black spot in town. Even though we didn't invite them officially, they came on their own and said, interestingly too, and this should interest all of you, we have some of the craziest supporters in the Nigerian police. They can't wait. They call me aside all the time when they say, now you be a candidate to, that minimum wage.
That's right.
Yes, one of them told me, said, if we pay minimum wage, you can get rid of the roadblock.
And that sank, you know, like, wow. So if we pay you 100,000 minimum wage and say roadblock, okay, forget time, we go come up for roadblock. But whether I like him or not, the moment we become president, we dismantle roadblock or police, but you will get your minimum wage too.
That's right.
Actually, the police has actually reached a 98,000 naira minimum wage already. This is part of the narrative we pushed that made it happen. NYC. Yeah. NYC, I heard they're getting something, but you know, if you are not getting anything yet, it's just a matter of weeks. You get everything you are entitled to in the new Nigeria.
That's right.
I promise you that.
There's a question on YouTube. How do you respond to people who say that the AAC has no structures in Nigeria?
Oh, I think we're proving it that we have structures. You know, you cannot go to a place where you don't have a structure and do a rally around the city. You know, you can't. It's not possible. That's just the simplest way to answer it. We probably have structures more than more than all the political parties.
So here's the thing. Nigerians just watched the candidates. There were only 4 parties.
Yes.
Those 4 parties were not random parties. Those were actually the top 4 parties in Nigeria.
Yes.
So if there is, what any DJ and Bond did was a wuru-wuru arrangement.
It was fraud, yeah.
It was fraud. What the candidates did, because they were linked with an organization called the MacArthur Foundation. MacArthur Foundation is one of the wealthiest foundations in the world.
Yeah.
Those guys spend billions of dollars every year. And what they did to select those 4 was they did polling across the country.
Yes. More than once.
No, they did 10.
Yes. So those who say we don't have structures is what makes you win polls.
Yeah.
Many of these polls, we had no idea about that these polls were going on. TVC is also staging, because the NETG born, because they've discredited themselves for the first time in the last 3 electoral cycles. Independent stations are now going to have their own debates because they discredited themselves. TVC just went through another polling of their own. So the reality is,
and we are there.
What does? So when the APC and PDP spend 100 million naira per rally, if you look at the faces of the people who turned up at the rallies, it is the same human beings who turned up at the PDP rally, who come the week after, because you're getting paid 5,000. Here's what we say to them: if they give you 5,000, take it.
Exactly.
Is that structure? That's not structure. Yeah. What structure means is support. So the truth of the matter is, there is absolutely no local government in this country. Speaking authoritatively now, there is no local government in this country that is not penetrated by the AAC. There is no state that is not penetrated by the AAC. Yeah. There is absolutely no ward.
There's no market.
In this country.
There is no shopping arena.
Do we have structures? The answer is yes, we do have structures.
Yes.
And on the 16th, Nigerians will get to see exactly what real structure looks like.
Yeah. So we have donations from Peter Oluwafemi Paul for 5,000 naira. Joshua Gabriel Oban 10,000 naira. Osazwa Festua 100 naira.
That's great.
That person is still testing the microphone. This Afuye Adriano Adedayo 5,000 naira. Omega Simon Tekumbi 10,000 naira. Pay Bands Innovative Links 20,000 naira. There's a Sky Zen for 10,000 naira. I guess that's anonymous. There's Ogbona Uchena for 3,000 naira. There's John Ogeshi Oraizwe 500 naira, please. Omorigbe Bernard Nosakari for 50,000 naira. Zach Korede Christiana 10,000 naira. Oluwashima Rio 10,000 naira. And that's with that. Let me go finally to our. Let's go to GoFundMe and see what our hourly people are saying here, and then we can wrap up. It's been a very, very long day here, but it's very exciting too. You know, that's what I tell you, that when you have all these guys all around here, they make this happen, you know. And we, there's a question for our coordinator, Mr. Top here. It said, what's going on with the polling unit agents? I registered on the website and I still now haven't heard anything. Please, are we working on that?
Yes. So we will start communicating with
you want to call
the selected. Yes.
Come on. Question is directed at you.
Yes.
All right. So we have collected your information, and we have information coming from different sources. Those who have PVCs, those who do not have PVCs that want to become to monitor the election because they don't have PVCs, and for people who also downloaded the app and also registered via the app. So we are centralizing those things, and then
so you are getting in touch with them from tomorrow.
From tomorrow.
All right. Well, thank you so much for that update. I was going to do the updates here from, and then we can we can take a final break. Yes. There is a $200 from Bazuaye. Wow. There's $100 from Osahon Ehigeto. $200 from Oluwaseyi Bamishaye. $10 from Tessa Nande. $20 from Wali Jimo. $20 from Adebukola Fergus. Yes, that's where we are. Thank you guys so much. It's been an amazing evening here on the couch. It's our time, and in 14 days, all of it will be real. You know,
absolutely.
And I want to thank you once again for doing so much for us, and doing so much for your country, and doing so much for others. Thank you. Have a good night. Take it back.
Action.
AAC.
Take it back.
Take it back.
Action.
Do you have the last?
Before we go, there's a message for Dr. Malcolm from Jerry Mwobe, and he's saying, Igwe Malcolm Fabi, we would love to offer you a chieftaincy title in Igbo land.
Wow. Igwe. All right.
See you all in Edo tomorrow.
Yes. I hope it's not one of those $200.
The TV and over federal ruling class did not only create wealth for the minority, dear friends, cronies, and stalwarts, and hunger for the majority, but also created a people who see themselves as hungry Yorubas, hungry Igbos, hungry Hausas. The Sims have succeeded in creating hungry pastors and hungry imams. All this in the bid to crush the resistance by the hungry people. We shall be free the day we realize that there are only hungry Nigerians.